The data is clear. Winter is coming in fast and cold for 2025-2026. This isn't just a hunch or a headline, it's what the numbers and models are shouting. Meteorologists are seeing the signs line up earlier than usual, and the signals are impossible to ignore. This isn't your usual slow slide into winter. The atmosphere is primed for an early, dramatic arrival of frigid air. Instead of a gentle cooling, we're looking at a sudden plunge, one that could catch many off guard if they're not paying attention. That chill in late October. It's a warning shot from Mother Nature. When you see your breath in the air before Halloween, or scrape frost from your windshield weeks ahead of schedule, it's not just a fluke, it's a preview of what's coming. Multiple climate drivers, La Niña, a shaky polar vortex, record low Arctic sea ice, and rapid Siberian snowfall, are all pointing in the same direction. Each of these factors alone can tip the scales toward a colder season. But this year, they're all happening at once, amplifying each other's effects. Each of these is significant, but together, they create a recipe for a potentially historic early winter. It's like every ingredient for deep freeze is being added to the pot at the same time, making the outcome almost inevitable. Think of the atmosphere as an engine. All the pistons are firing for cold. The energy is building, and when it's released, it could mean a rapid shift from mild to bitterly cold conditions across huge swaths of the continent. Cold Pacific waters are steering the jet stream, which is already being buckled by a weakening polar vortex. This means the usual barriers that keep Arctic air locked up north are breaking down, letting that cold air spill southward much earlier than normal. Less sea ice means Arctic air can surge south more easily. The Arctic is losing its protective shield, and that opens the door for frigid blasts to reach places that might not be ready for them. It's a connected system, and every link is screaming, cold and early. When you see these patterns align, it's like nature is sending a clear message. Brace yourself because winter is coming in strong. This isn't hype, it's a heads up to get ready now. Stock up on supplies, check your heating, and make sure your home and car are winter-proof. Early preparation could make all the difference this year. The first big snowfall could hit before Thanksgiving. Imagine waking up to a white landscape while you're still planning your holiday menu. For many, this could be the earliest start to winter in years. The usual late fall battle between mild and cold air may be a blowout in favor of winter. Instead of a gradual transition, we could see autumn cut short, replaced by snow and ice weeks ahead of schedule. We'll break down each signal so you know exactly why we're sounding the alarm. From shifting ocean currents to snow piling up in Siberia, we'll show you how these forces combine to shape our winter. Get your coats ready, and stay tuned for the details. Winter is knocking, and it's not waiting for an invitation. The question isn't if it will arrive early, but just how soon and how strong it will be. Are you ready? At the heart of this forecast is a powerful, fast-developing La Niña. La Niña means cooler than average Pacific waters, and right now, those temperatures are well below normal. A strong La Niña doesn't just nudge the weather, it takes control, often leading to cold outbreaks across North America and Europe. It warps the jet stream, creating a blocking pattern that funnels Arctic air deep into the US. This isn't just theory, it's atmospheric physics in action. The strength and speed of this La Niña are what make it so concerning for an early cold start. Once the cold air starts flowing, the pattern can reload and repeat, bringing wave after wave of cold and snow. History shows strong La Niña winters are legendary for their cold and snow. The ocean is sending a clear, powerful signal. It's the engine driving this winter's forecast. All other factors are amplifying what La Niña has already set in motion. Now, let's look up to the stratosphere, that mysterious layer high above our heads, where the drama of winter truly begins to unfold. Here, far above the surface, powerful forces are at work, forces that can shape the weather for millions below. At the heart of this drama is the polar vortex, a swirling mass of cold, dense air that spins relentlessly above the North Pole, acting as a kind of atmospheric gatekeeper. Under normal conditions, fierce winds whip around the vortex, forming a tight barrier that keeps the coldest air locked safely in the Arctic, far from the bustling cities to the south. But this year, something unusual is happening. The vortex is already wobbling, its edges growing ragged and unstable, much earlier than usual. When the polar vortex weakens, it can no longer hold its shape. Lobes of frigid Arctic air break away, plunging southward and bringing sudden, severe cold to places unprepared for such extremes. These disruptions don't happen by chance. They're often triggered by energy surging up from below, especially when vast stretches of Siberia are buried under deep snow. This snow acts like a battery, releasing energy into the atmosphere and destabilizing the vortex above. Right now, the polar vortex is stretched thin and unstable, a major red flag for meteorologists. This instability is a warning sign that early intense cold air invasions could be on the horizon. As the vortex weakens, the jet stream, normally a smooth, fast-flowing river of air, becomes wavier and more erratic. This waviness opens the door for Arctic air to surge deep into populated regions, catching millions by surprise. This year, the La Niña pattern in the Pacific is already setting the stage for chaos. When you add a disrupted polar vortex to the mix, it's like throwing gasoline on a fire, amplifying the risk of extreme prolonged cold snaps. This is how you get record-shattering cold snaps that grip entire regions for days, pushing infrastructure and communities to their limits. What's truly alarming is how early these warning signs are appearing. Usually, we don't see such dramatic shifts until deep into January, but this year, the signals are flashing before winter has even fully arrived. The polar vortex is like a wounded giant, its movements unpredictable, its power undiminished. Each lunge southward could define the character of this winter, bringing chaos in its wake. So, brace yourself. Expect not just cold, but extreme, bone-chilling cold that can catch millions off guard. The giant is stirring and its reach could be felt far and wide. Be ready for its roar. This winter, the wounded giant may not go quietly. Another key signal: Arctic sea ice is near record lows. Open water releases heat and moisture, changing the Arctic's energy balance and impacting weather far to the south. Sea ice acts as a lid on the planet's refrigerator. With less ice, the cold leaks out. This helps build a blocking high over the Arctic, forcing the jet stream to plunge south. The feedback loop is powerful. Less ice weakens the polar vortex and launches frigid air into North America and Europe. Ironically, a warmer Arctic leads to a colder winter for us. Years with low autumn sea ice often bring colder, snowier winters to the US and Europe. The signals are clear, the refrigerator door is open, and the cold is about to spill out. Get ready for a volatile winter pattern. The last major signal comes from Siberia's snow machine. This fall, Siberian snow cover is among the highest on record, an early deep blanket that supercharges the cold. Snow reflects sunlight, allowing the air above to get extremely cold, fast. This builds the Siberian high, the source of the coldest air masses that invade North America and Europe. The Siberian high also helps disrupt the polar vortex, triggering those southward plunges of Arctic air. Rapid snow advance in Siberia is a strong indicator of a negative Arctic oscillation, higher pressure in the Arctic, lower in the mid-latitudes, and open floodgates for cold. La Niña steers the pattern, low sea ice creates the block, and Siberian snow provides the ammunition. The data is clear. The snow is deep, extensive, and early. The Siberian snowpack is the final piece confirming an early, severe winter. All systems are go for a cold start. To understand what might be coming, let's take a closer look at the past. History often holds the clues to what's possible, especially when it comes to extreme weather. By examining winters that left a mark, we can see patterns that may repeat, or at least echo, today. The winters of 2010, 2011, and 1976-77 stand out for a reason. Both were shaped by powerful La Niña events, a disrupted polar vortex, and persistent atmospheric blocking patterns that steered cold air into unusual places. These ingredients combined to create winters that were anything but ordinary. During these seasons, relentless cold gripped entire regions. Historic snowstorms buried cities under feet of snow, paralyzing transportation and forcing emergency responses. Schools closed, businesses shuttered, and daily life ground to a halt as people struggled to cope with the onslaught of winter. In 2010-2011, a particularly strong La Niña and an early disruption of the polar vortex set the stage for Snowmageddon. The US and Europe were hit with wave after wave of brutal cold and record-breaking snowfall, making headlines around the world and testing the limits of infrastructure. The winter of 1976-77 was even more extreme in some ways. The pattern locked in early, sending frigid Siberian and Arctic air deep into North America for months on end. The cold was unyielding, and the effects were felt far and wide. Buffalo was buried under mountains of snow, the mighty Ohio River froze solid, and communities across the region faced relentless cold that seemed to have no end in sight. These were winters that people would talk about for decades. While these analogs aren't perfect forecasts, they show us what can happen when all the major drivers of winter weather align. The past doesn't give us a crystal ball, but it does offer a powerful warning. Now, the signals for the upcoming 2025-2026 winter are just as strong, if not stronger, than those legendary seasons. The same atmospheric forces are lining up, and the potential for high-impact events is very real. History doesn't repeat itself exactly, but it often rhymes. The echoes of those past winters can be seen in the patterns developing today, reminding us to take the threats seriously. Right now, the atmosphere is setting up in ways that are eerily similar to some of the toughest winters we've ever experienced. The signs are there for those who know where to look. The potential for high-impact disruptive events is not just a possibility, it's a genuine concern. Emergency services are already preparing, and so should we. This could be a winter that rewrites the record books. Make sure you're ready for whatever comes, because the lessons of history are clear. When the signals align, winter can be truly unforgettable. What does this mean for your region? Here's the breakdown. Northeast and Midwest. Expect a cold, snowy season with major storms possible before January. Temperatures will be below average with several Arctic outbreaks. Lake effect snow will be intense. Southeast. Colder than average, with a high risk of damaging freezes and possible ice storms. West. Warmer and drier for California and the Southwest. Pacific Northwest will be cool, wet, and snowy in the mountains. Europe. Northern and Western Europe face a volatile, cold winter, with the beast from the east pattern possible. Southern Europe, milder and wetter. East Asia, Japan and Korea will see a cold, snowy winter with heavy sea effect snow. Northern China is also primed for severe cold. The setup is hemispheric. Major population centers across the northern hemisphere will feel the impact. Prepare for a winter that's anything but average. No long-range forecast is 100% certain. There are wildcards. The biggest is the timing and location of polar vortex disruptions. A shift could change who gets the cold. The Madden-Julian Oscillation, MJO, can temporarily override La Niña, bringing brief thaws even in a cold winter. The exact position of the Pacific blocking high also matters. A westward shift could mean more variability in the east. Small changes in these features can turn a cold winter into a historic one, or vice versa. Still, the risk is overwhelmingly tilted toward a cold, early start. The major drivers, La Niña, low sea ice, Siberian snow, are locked in. Wildcards may bring short breaks, but won't change the overall pattern. The road is built and leads to a cold destination. Expect detours, but not a change in where we're headed. The message is simple: prepare now. Homeowners, check your heating, insulate pipes, clean gutters, and stock up on essentials. Farmers, accelerate harvests and protect livestock and water sources from freezing. The transition from fall to winter could be abrupt, so act soon to avoid losses. For winter sports lovers, early snow means early openings, but also a higher avalanche risk. Check forecasts and gear up safely. The financial impact of an early, severe winter can be huge. Don't wait to get ready. From protecting your home to planning safe recreation, the time to act is now. We'll keep monitoring and updating as the season unfolds. The signals are too strong to ignore. A cold start is coming. Be ready for it. Don't get caught out in the cold. Winter is on the doorstep. Answer it prepared.